10th seed in each conference plays the 9th seed in each conference. So the West 10th seed will face the 9th West seed. 10th East seed will face the 10th East seed. And basically they battle it out to see if they can even sneak in and have an opportunity to make it in the NBA playoffs. But in order to do that, they have to play the loser of the 7 and 8 matchup. They're going to be facing off against each other to see who is going to be the true 7 seed of the conference. Kind of interesting. I don't really know how I really feel about that. I think it'd be more fair if the 7th seed played the 10th seed, and then if that upset happened, then the 10th seed would have an opportunity. I just personally think that just makes more sense than the 7-8 facing off against each other, and then that loser facing the 9 or 10. I don't know. Makes no sense to me, but that's how it goes. So the 9 or 10, I guess contestants have to win 2 games. Two games in order to make it into the playoffs against some very top tier competition. So it's kind of exciting. So the participants we have, the 10th seed in the West are the San Antonio Spurs, the 9th seed in the West as well. I'm just going to do West right now, I'll just say that. 10 is the Spurs, 9 are the Pelicans, 8 are the LA Clippers, and 7th are the Minnesota Timberwolves. Pretty exciting. Then for the East, 10th seed, we have the Charlotte Hornets, which, man, how they've fallen pretty fast so far in this NBA season. 9, we have the Atlanta Hawks. 8, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers again, team that fell pretty far. And then 7th, very surprising, the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons, that crazy squad. 7th seed in the West, going to be fighting for their playoff lives in this playing tournament, so it should be pretty exciting. So let's see. Let's do the 7-8 matchup first, because I feel like those, sort of imply on who's making into the playoffs, at least in my own opinion. And then I'll do the 9-10, and then the whoever winners and losers are face off against each other for the last game. 7-9 matchups. Okay, let's do the Eastern Conference first. You probably know why. So the 7 and 8 of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets. Well, the season series so far in this current NBA season has the Nets beating Cleveland 3-1. Cleveland beat them January 17th. That's when Cleveland was on that super crazy run, like right around the All-Star break, till about February, late February. Then, injuries and sort of just bad play sort of, really struggled this team a lot and fell all the way down to the 8th seed, which is totally crazy to think about, but interesting. And I'm only saying that because even though this team, obviously with Garland and Evan Mobley, they're sort of the duo that they have right now, because again, Jared Allen's out, Colin Sexton out. They do still have some pretty good veterans, obviously with Kevin Love coming off the bench. They have Cedi Osman. They have some sort of like older presence on the team that really isn't going to, I feel, rattle this team as if it was just a bunch of young guys sort of just playing out of their mind, you know what I mean? But short and sweet, I'm giving it to the Nets. I think the Nets are going to win. It will be very fun to watch. I think it will be a competitive game, especially with, Kyrie, Garland going at it, and then see how well Evan Mobley can sort of, again, handle that pressure of being a rookie, being in a win or lose scenario like that. Gonna get a lot of growth in character from him, I'm sure, which is great, obviously, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's just a lot of growing, learning from this experience, I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm going with the Nets, and again, I'm not going to be talking a lot about the playoffs, so I'm sorry, but the 2 seed plays the 7 seed. The 2 seed are the Celtics. The Celtics would play the Nets in the first round of the playoffs. That's going to be extra spicy of a, I guess, a series, but I can't talk about it in another video. But yeah, I'm picking the Nets. I feel like everyone probably does. So we have the 8-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers losing, dropping down to the last playing game to see if they can stay as the 8 seed. They will face the winners of the 9-10 matchup, which we'll get to in a second. We're going to flip over to the 7-8 of the West, the LA Clippers, and the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are 7th. Oh, and by the way, the 7th seed of each conference has home court advantage. West is going to be at the Minnesota Timberwolves arena. I don't remember what it is. It used to be the Target Center. It's not the Target Center anymore, I don't think, but it's going to be in Minnesota, so they get home court advantage, which is good. Oh man, the Clippers and the Timberwolves, that's going to be really, really last ones to come out with the dub. So does that mean anything? I don't know, but Timberwolves definitely are a way different team than from the start of this season, so it's not that much of a telltale. At least in my opinion. At least it's not. And then you have the size of Karl Anthony Towns. Is that going to be a really big deal breaker? Hopefully D'Angelo Russell can, play up to par, and obviously the play of Anthony Edwards is going to be very important. He's basically their go-to guy when Karl Anthony Towns is sort of doing his thing as a big man, as a ball handler. Anthony Edwards has to do a lot for this team. This one might be a toss-up, I might be being completely honest. But I think I'm gonna give it to the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are gonna walk away with the win. Now, Clippers play very well. They are a very skilled team, a very perimeter-heavy team. For some reason, I feel like not only obviously the Timberwolves having home court advantage, that's gonna be very important. Obviously, the Timberwolves haven't been in the playoffs for many years. I'm sure the fans are going to be insanely crazy up there, which is awesome. That's great. I feel like that would play some sort of way into how the Timberwolves are. I feel like if it was vice versa, I wouldn't really trust the Timberwolves, especially against sort of like a veteran, deep playoff run team like the Clippers. But I think this is going to be kind of like an upset pick, and a lot of my sort of pick-em videos, I play very safe and boring. I'm going to be a little bit more exciting. Even though this team is higher in the standings, I'm going to pick the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns is going to have maybe one of his best games of the season, even though he had a crazy, 60-point bomb earlier in the season, a couple weeks ago, months ago. Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Timberwolves. I don't know if that's a good pick or not, but I think I am. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is going to have one of his, he's going to have a stinker of a game in order for them to lose. And I think Zubac is a good player. They do have some size here and there. And obviously having to play down to size, I feel like it's going to hurt Karl Anthony Towns a little bit. But I feel like the Timberwolves have figured something out. And I feel like it's going to carry on into this sort of playoff run, whatever you want to call this. I think they're going to win it out. Clippers play the winners of the 10-9 matchup, which we'll get into right now. So we have the Clippers awaiting the opponent of the Spurs or the Pelicans. Oh my goodness. Now the season series for the Pelicans and the Spurs has the Spurs winning 3 out of the 4 games. So 3-1 against the Pelicans this season. Now again, kind of hard to think about this because the CJ McCollum trade is very, 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 very important in the series. We've seen before, CJ McCollum will playoff victories, like real playoff victories against Denver a couple years ago. That was very exciting. Now, if he can do that again, this might be a very boring game to watch. The Pelicans might even blow out the Spurs if him, Ingram, the defense of Herb Jones, very exciting young player for sure. Valanciunas could even have a really solid game for this team, being that really solid big down in the paint for them. Or look at the other side. DeJounte Murray is gonna have to absolutely put the clamps on CJ McCollum. That is going to be the X factor. Can the Spurs have a game plan for CJ? Because if CJ has a bad game, they will lose. I will put all my money on it. If CJ has a bad, struggling game, I don't think Brandon Ingram will be enough for them to win. At least he goes for like a 40-plus point bomb. I don't think it's going to be enough. So, in my opinion, if I am the Spurs, I am game planning everything around trying to stop CJ McCollum from having a great game. Because for CJ, we know he is a go-to scorer and he's going to get some work in. Just going to have to stop it. So, DeJounte, Keldon Johnson, all of the perimeter play the Spurs have, the great game plans of Greg Popovich. Gonna need a good one here. But I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think the Pelicans win. I'm taking the Pelicans going on, beating the Spurs, playing the Clippers for the last and final play-in spot. Ooh, the 8 seed. That's gonna be interesting. Going over to the Eastern Conference, we have maybe my favorite matchup of the entire play-in tournament. The Hornets against the Hawks. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this. So this is actually going to be played at the Hawks Arena. It's going to be Hawks home court. Oh was a very hard-nosed point guard play with Trae Young and LaMelo Ball having the ball in their hand pretty much the entire game. And it's basically going to come down to either A shootout, or B, who can get stops first. And in my opinion, very quickly, when it comes to that, we've seen the Hawks do what they needed to do when times have mattered. And even though the Hawks this year struggled so much, they're still the same team. They're relatively the same team as they were last season, who made a deep playoff run. I'm going to be trusting the Hawks just a little bit more because of that maturity, and also just maybe believing in Trae Young more as of right now. As of right now, believing in Trae Young more as a player, as a floor general. I think the Hawks pull this one out. The Hawks move on, beating the Hornets, even though, man, it really could go other way. If it's a cold shooting night for Trae Young, it's a GG. Hornets will win this one, probably by a good amount. I'm going to give it to the Hawks. I'm going to trust them more, putting trust in Trae Young. So, we have the Hawks going to be facing the Cleveland Cavaliers for the final playing spot. We're going to have the final playing spot between the Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then in the West, we're going to have the final playing spot of the Clippers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, let's actually do the Western Conference first. So we have the Clippers going up against the New Orleans Pelicans for the final playing spot. And I don't know why, but I feel like this is going to be a very, very close game. It can be. But again, maybe going to this kind of quickly. If you don't know, the Clippers have had the Blazers numbers for years, and the Clippers have had amazing defensive game plans for Dame and also CJ McCollum. I feel like they're going to imply whatever they've done before in the past between Dame and CJ and apply it to CJ now on the Pelicans. I feel like the Clippers are going to stop CJ McCollum. If the Spurs can't do it, which I'm going to think they probably aren't, and they move on, I think the Clippers have a pretty solid game plan already set in stone when facing CJ in Portland. They're just going to throw it on them right now in the Pelicans. And then when you have, Paul George guarding Brandon Ingram, that's going to be a very fun matchup to watch if it does that. I don't know if Paul George will guard CJ. It probably will be either Reggie Jackson or probably even Norman Powell. That's a great guard to put up against CJ for sure. But yeah, BI on PG, that's going to be a great matchup. But come on, dude, Paul George is head and shoulders, I don't want to say in talent, but definitely in, basketball IQ and just veteran years in the NBA. He's going to be more ready and set for this. I really like the Clippers' depth. They have great perimeter play, and I feel like that's what benefits them most in this matchup, is that there's no really interior with the Pelicans, obviously without Zion. Valanciunas can sometimes do something, but when it comes down to perimeter versus perimeter, Clippers have very good perimeter defense, so they're going to be very favored in this one. That's why I don't really want to say I trust the Clippers against the Timberwolves, because Karl Towns could go off and win them that game, which I feel like that's the scenario that's playing in my head. But this series, no. I'm going to give it to the Clippers, beating the Pelicans in the final play-in game. Clippers stay as the 8th seed. Wow. Who would have thought? So, I have Timberwolves at 7 still, Clippers at 8 still. Nothing changes. That's kind of funny. So, and for the final play-in game, we have the Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which again, in my opinion, is a toss-up. I have a couple of toss-ups. I have this game, Hawks and Hornets for sure could be a toss-up. I think Timberwolves and Clippers could be a toss-up as well. I feel like those are my 3 scenarios that if that does happen, I feel like that could happen. If the Spurs somehow beat the Pelicans, I feel like they'll probably get washed by whoever loses the Timberwolves and the Clippers series. And the Pelicans, I feel like, will have the best opportunity to beat either the Timberwolves or the Clippers in that play-in series. But this is one of my toss-up ones, and I have no idea. Because in the season series this year, we have the Hawks beating the Cavaliers 3 out of the 4 times. And this season. The Hawks lost the first matchup back in October, then have won 3 straight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. One time almost by 30 points, the most recent time in March 31st, beating them nearly by 30. Wow, that's tough. You know what? I really wish I could really give the Cavaliers some more, just like, I don't want to say, I'm putting a damper on their season a lot recently, and it really sucks because they're becoming one of my favorite teams to watch in the NBA, and somehow it just, something flipped. Could it have been the Jared Allen injury? Maybe, but even then I feel like, there should be a little bit more happening there, and it hasn't been clicking all that much for them. So, if the Hawks are going to be playing on this high right now, just beating a team, making it into the last playing game of the season. Oh, but man, they've been such an up and down team too. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is both just a bunch of up and down teams. It's so hard to pick a winner. But you know what? I want to play kind of fun. I think outside playing team, not a team 7 or 8, is going to make it into the playoffs this year. And I think it's going to be the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, the Atlanta Hawks, placed right now 9th in the NBA East, will sneak past and become the new 8th seed of the NBA playoff standings. I think they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's nothing against Cleveland. Again, one of my favorite teams to watch this season. Garland becoming one of my new favorite players in the NBA. I love watching Mobley and definitely Jared Allen play. I can't wait to see this team next season. I'm just going to give, again, just more trust in Atlanta, and that might be really stupid. Can they lose? Absolutely they could lose, but I don't know. I'm going to give it to Trae Young, unless Garland or someone on that team, I don't know. I haven't watched them play against each other, so I don't know who matches up against who, but I don't think they really have a Trae Young stopper on that team. Could it be a Goro? Maybe. I would love to see Colin Sexton play this game, but obviously that's not going to happen. I don't think Garland is that sort of lockdown defender that needs to be on Trae Young. It's going to take a team effort again as well, and having such a young team like that, I don't know. Can it be done though? Yeah, I think Kevin Love could go off, or some of the bench guys for Cleveland can really hold it down, and that's where the Hawks kind of hurt a little bit, but I'm going to give it to the Hawks because I want to play a little fun. I keep playing too safe in these videos. So that means in Jake Baller's official NBA playoff picture, I have the 7th seed in the West being the Timberwolves still, and the 8th seed in the West still being the Clippers. I don't think either of the Spurs, the Buckets, make it in. If it's any of them, it's going to be the Pelicans. That's kind of a no-brainer. I love the Spurs though. DeJounte Murray, a lot of fun to watch, but don't think they're there yet. And then for the East, the 7th seed, the Nets. Kind of didn't talk about them a lot in this video, but I'm kind of assuming we all get that vibe of like, okay, they're the Nets. Katie, Kyrie. You can put a bunch of high schoolers on that team, and that's probably making it to the 7th seed. So, yeah, they're going to be playing the Celtics. Maybe we'll have to see in the first round. And then the 8th seed, I have a 9th seed team making it. I have the Hawks beating the Cavaliers in the final playing game. It's gonna be fun. I'm super excited. That's everything. So, Timberwolves 7, Clippers 8, East Nets 7, Hawks 8. Woo, pretty cool. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do way more playoff talk in my next, I guess, NBA talking video. Tomorrow's gonna be a regular ASMR video, and then I'm probably also gonna be posting another Lego Star Wars game because you guys seem to really like that gameplay video. So I'm gonna do another one. So that should be really fun. And yeah, hopefully you're doing well. I love you, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Make sure you like this video.